In today's video, I'd like to talk a little bit about the story of Cyberpunk's DLC Phantom Liberty. Of course, there's going to be some spoilers regarding the story, but I'm not here to retell the events, at least not in this particular video. I really just wanted to talk about the feeling of the story and what I enjoyed, and even some of the things that I didn't like as much. Right out of the bat, the game starts with V getting persuaded to take a new gig in Dogtown that involves the NUSA government and saving their president. The story that Phantom Liberty tells truly is a spy thriller. V takes the role of a spy/agent for the NUSA. It's fast-paced, and like I've said in every video regarding Phantom Liberty, it's high octane. I love the setting, and it felt like a dystopian, failed future. It contrasts greatly with Night City because although Night City is dangerous and it is unpredictable, it still has beautiful places that are well kept and thriving with business. But in Dogtown, everything you see shows a failed city. Although there are places that are up and running with a club and small boroughs where many folk gather and live, Dogtown had many similarities to the city in the cat game Stray that was released last year. You also get to go inside of a big building that looks like a garage towards the beginning of the DLC, and that place in particular reminded me of something out of the Will Smith's I Am Legend movie. Another thing that was done extremely well was the handling of all the different characters featured in this DLC. It gives you just enough background for new characters and continues to develop characters we already knew or knew just a little bit about, like Mr. Hands. He plays a decent role in this new DLC, and we get to know a little bit of his background and what's important to him. I enjoyed getting to explore that relationship with V a little bit. And obviously, Reed was such an interesting and layered character. Alex, his colleague, was also a ruthless spy who yearned for a different life and had different dreams and aspirations. Songbird is a character that has been dealt a really bad hand at life, and like V, she's looking to survive. Then we have President Rosalind Myers. She is a character that has many faces and is a veteran at playing this game and staying on top. One of my favorite things, however, is that all of these characters genuinely made me feel emotional towards them. I liked them all and hated them all. They gave me hope and they disappointed me. I can tell the story was a huge focus for CD Projekt Red, and on top of overhauling the game mechanics and functions, they did a tremendous job at making the story interesting, and I believe it's worth giving a shot. One quick side note I'd like to add is that the story is emotionally draining, if you haven't picked up on that yet. There's multiple endings to the story, and I'll say one thing. There's an ending to the DLC that gave me very similar feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and anger that I only felt in The Last of Us Part 2. Those emotions were very similar, and I hadn't felt like that in a really long time when it came to video games. That particular ending for Phantom Liberty stayed on my mind for days, and even now I haven't been able to truly shake it or really forget about it. And one thing that I didn't like as much, one thing that I would have wanted to see more in the story, was around the beginning hours of the game, you're trying to save President Rosalind Myers. And you have this big fight, and throughout that big fight, as explosions are going on all around you and you're trying to make an escape, you have like quick time events almost where you have to press square to get out of the way, you have to press X to jump, you have to press R1 to do this, all that type of stuff, right? I thought that the game, throughout the story, as the story progressed, you were gonna see more of that, which I thought was a little bit different, and I didn't want it plastered all over the game, but I thought we would at least see it once or twice more, and we didn't see it again. We only saw it in that beginning stages of the game, and I felt like it was something that would have added more cool scenes, made it even more explosive, you give it more of a feeling of like high-paced, high octane. So that's one thing that I wish we would have seen a little bit more in the story, but honestly that's really like the main thing, and it's such a small thing that it doesn't really matter that much. It was kind of personal, but that's just one of the stuff that one of the things that I didn't like as much. Lastly, I'm not sure if this is the end for V. Where does he go? What does he do? The endings leave it open for you, but they differ from each other so much that I'm not sure how a second game following V would even play out. I'm no writer, but I trust CD Projekt Red. I have for years, even after that 2020 debacle.
You are one dumb son of a bitch!
They've done a wonderful job with Phantom Liberty. The story was my favorite thing about it. I can't wait to see what they have in store for a sequel to Cyberpunk, and I hope they apply the same love they did with Phantom Liberty onto their next game.